Hey there, you're welcome to my channel at Yoncee Thrills. Today I want to show you how to make this beautiful ball gown with a tulle net for a 4-month-old baby girl with the measurements involved. So don't go anywhere, join me and let's go to the cutting table. First of all, I'm going to draft this on a pattern paper, and of course you know the first thing is the starting point line of 1/2 inch, that is the shoulder line, and then the shoulder to shoulder of my small client divided by 2 is 4 inches. Also the armhole circumference divided by 2 is 3.5 actually, but I made it 4 inches. Of course babies grow, okay. I will still mark the half of the shoulder to shoulder here, which is 4 inches, so that I will get my straight line for armhole. Right, and then the half length of my small madam is 7 inches, then 1/2 inch joining allowance. So that's what I just marked there, and I'm going to rule it out. I'm also marking this one as the chest line. So the neck width I'm using for her is 2 inches, and the neck depth, okay, first of all I came down by 1/2 inch shoulder slope, but this is not necessary, you can just leave it. You don't have a slanted shoulder already. Then the neck depth I'm working with for the back is 1 inch. For the front I'm using 2 inches, and then I'm going to connect it. So the chest circumference, small madam's chest circumference is 19 inches divided by 4 is 4.75, right? That's what I just marked, and I'm going to add 1/2 inch, ease. 1/2 inch ease, that's just what I marked there, and also 1 inch side allowance, and that's exactly what I'm going to mark at the half length. Okay, so I'm connecting the armhole this way, as you can see. And I just drew the allowance straight down because our baby girl does not have bust yet, so everything is equal. Then I'm adding 1/2 inch armhole allowance, shoulder allowance 1/2 inch, and the neck I'm adding to the back for 1/2 inch, and then to the front 1/2 inch sewing allowance. So this is for my back pattern paper. And the zipper allowance I'm giving is 1 inch. That's just what I'm marking, and I'm going to draw it straight because our baby girl is going to have zipper. Oh, I'm calling her both baby girl and small mother. So I'm just folding it inside to hide it. Then I'll place the front here and I will cut. So every other thing remains the same apart from the back. I will cut for the back neck first, just as you see me do, and then I will take out the front. Yes, so now I'm cutting the front neckline, just as you can also see. So we are done with pattern drafting. This is the back and that's the front. So this is what I have here. I have a brocade fabric. As you can see, it's not even up to 1/2 yard. For a 4-month-old baby, 1/2 yard is okay. I have shiny face, but you can use doll face too. I have 2 nets. This is 5 yards. I grabbed my pattern paper. Actually, I drafted this pattern paper for this tutorial I'm going to put up. So if you are interested in that baby dress, I'm going to link it up at the top right. Click on it right now. It will take you to that tutorial. But for now, let's continue with this one. I have this fabric folded. This is going to serve as the lining. And I also have the brocade, the mask, folded this way. So I've placed my pattern paper on it, and I'm going to cut. I've also done the same thing for the back, and I've placed the pattern paper, so I'm going to cut out the shape. So I have this for the back and this for the front. First of all, I'll join it at the shoulder, right side to right side. I'll go ahead and join it with 1/2 inch at the shoulder. Do the same thing for this one. So I'm done with that. The next thing is to turn it, the neck, the armhole, and the zipper line. The right side facing right side, I'm going to arrange it very well. By matching it, you need to make sure that the shoulder line of the lining is matching with the shoulder line of the main fabric you get, and this point, also the center fold. Then I'll go ahead to sew. I'll just sew here with quarter inch, then sew the neck with 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch round, 1/2 inch, here again with 1/4 inch. After that, I'll also join the armhole with 1/2 of an inch, 1/2 of an inch. I'm done sewing. As you can see. You can see this place too, how I opened it up. All these things add to a neat finishing, okay? So I opened it up while sewing. Then I've also gone ahead to notch the armhole, as you can see, because this is curved to help it relax. You also notch the neckline, just a slight cut, but don't cut through the seam. So I'm going to bring it out from this side. Find your way around it, just bring it out from here. Do the same thing with this. This is it, and the next thing is to join it at the sides. I'll turn it this way, fabric to fabric, lining to lining, taking note of it matching at this point. Then I'm going to sew this way. And I still have my notch here, so that's what I'm going to use to sew it down, and I'll do the same thing for this side. This is it after sewing. You can go on and give this a good press. Next, for the down part, I'm going to measure the round of the waist. So measuring it, what I have is 24.5 inches. Then you note that the half length of this dress is 7 inches. And the full length, that is from the shoulder to a little below the knee, just 1 inch below the knee, is 14 inches. So 14 minus 7 for the half length, I have 7 inches left. So the width is 24.5, the length is 7 inches. I have a fabric here. This is face satin, and I'm going to cut this as half circle. All right. For half circle, you are going to fold this way, and you also fold like this. So this is it. The radius for half circle is 3.124. So what you're going to do is to divide that 24.5 inches by 3.124. Whatever you have, you're going to measure down from here. Mark it. You are taking your tape rule around, then you mark it. So before you fold this, make sure you have that length that you're looking for. After, you must have taken out the radius measurement. So the length I'm looking for, is 7 inches, and I need ½ inch or 1 inch to fold it. So I should make sure that after the radius, I have that measurement here. But alternatively, I don't want to use radius for this. I just want to, this is folded into 4, right? In as much as it's folded, I folded it once and then I folded it again, so it is 4. Waist circumference from what I measured is 24.5 inches, but I'm going to round it over to 26 inches. I'm going to use 26 inches. I want excess to, just a little bit to gather. You can leave yours to your measurement. So 26 inches divided by 4, I have 6.5 inches. So I'm just going to place this tape this way. I don't know if you can see from here. So which one, here is not up to 6.5. So from here, I have 6.5 here. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to create a circle here. Or if you can, you just follow the shape. You can draw it. See, I still have 6.5. You can just draw it in. Then 7 inches or 7.5 inches for the down part here. Okay, I'll go ahead and cut ½ of an inch, joining allowance to the upper part. So you see, it is half circle. As you can see, I've gone ahead to mark out ½ inch joining allowance to the top part, and also at the down part, I've marked ½ inch hemming allowance. All right, you decide how you want your layerings to be. I'm working with a 7 yards of tulle net. I want to start from here 1 inch after the joining allowance line. So I just, or 0.75, very close to this place. So 0.75. Then from there, I want the distance to be 2 inches. 2 inches. Yeah, and that is it. So I can proceed to mark all this out around it. Then from this point, what's the length of the tulle knit? I will determine using this last part. I want it to get to 4 inches. So on my tulle net, I'm marking 4.5 inches. All right. So for this one too, 4 inches. So it's going to overlap. It's going to cover this down part by 2 inches. Same thing with this. If I mark 4 inches, it's going to cover this one by 2 inches. All right. You can see how I roughly marked it out. I also marked out the joining allowance here. And I went ahead to measure. This should be the longest part, right? So I went ahead to take the measurement of each one, and I have 41.5 inches. So it's going to guide me on the width of the tulle. At least I should have about 3 times what I have here. Here is my 7 yards of tulle net fabric, and it is on fold here. So I'll go ahead and keep folding it until I achieve what I want. So you can see what I have. Let me explain what I did. I folded this towards the yard side, and folded it once, folded it twice, again and again, and that's how it became this way. Then I went ahead to start marking my 4.5, 4.5, just as you have seen already. Then I went ahead to cut it also. Okay, and this is even way above the 41.5 inches times 3 is way above it, and I'm going to use it that way. So for each layer, at least that longest layer, I'm going to use 1, 2, 3, 4, gather it into that space. Then the second layer, 1, 2, 3, the last layer, 1, 2, 3. So that's what I'm going to. You can see there is another one remaining. All right, so I hope this is clear. As you can see, I've gone ahead to hem it with the 1/2 inch hemming allowance. Then it's now to gather. So like I said, I have 4 pieces here, and I'm going to gather it into that space. So opening it up, I'll also measure. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 layers here, and the length is measuring 30 inches. So you do the calculation of the weight I'm going to gather into that space. So what I'm going to do is, for that down part, is 41.5. I'm going to divide it into 4. So for each one, I gather it into the space. I'll pick the next one, gather it into the next space until I'm done with the 4. All right, so that's how I'm going to do it there. Or you may just run a loose stitch on the tulle net, run a loose stitch there, then gather it together before sewing into the space, but I prefer the other one. Okay, this is it after sewing, so you can see how it is. Use your hand and separate this. Mine is 8 layers. Separate this part. Is going to help it form that fluffiness, the cloudy nature very well. So separate the layers. All right, after that, I move to the next one. I'm going to gather 3.5 into the space. I'll also divide it into 3.5, and then do the same thing for this other one. 2.5 is what I'm going to gather there. So this is what I have so far. To mention, I actually used the exact waist instead of that 26 inches that I say, because I knew this was going to be bulky, so I don't want it to be too bulky. I used the 24.5 inches. Then for this last part, I also have this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up. I don't want it to be bulky. It is 1, 2, 3, 4. I will gather it into here. Here. Okay, I hope you can see what I'm doing. After gathering it, it's just to cover this raw edge. That's why I'm going to put it there. So after that, we'll now join this. So center to center, I have my notch here at the center. I will pin it, and then yes, so you can see it's exact. I will go ahead and sew with 1/2 inch, and then we come back. So as you can see, I'm done sewing this, and I've gone ahead to attach zip too. All right, so you can see the lining. I used it to cover this raw edge. What I did was just to cut a straight lining, and I turned it over to this other side. You can see the side I joined it from. All right, so that it will cover this raw edge. And with this, we've come to the end of this tutorial. So please go ahead, like, share, and subscribe. Share your thoughts. This is my first time of working with a tulle net. It's a very tedious one to do. It's not an easy job to do. So please, when you are charging your clients, you also charge for the time and the fabric, the nature of the fabric. All right. So thank you very much and see you in my next one.